so I turned sweet and innocent Stardew Valley into a horror game. This was accomplished with a bunch of mods, one of which I made myself. The goal is to change as many assets as I can so that any semblance of Stardew Valley being a cute and cuddly game are gone. Before we go any further, quick trigger warning here. Lots of blood and death. The mod that does the most heavy lifting here is Halloween Feelings by Jasmink. It changes just about everything you could imagine. Furniture, animals, machines, and just in general, the entire vibe of the game. Many objects throughout the game now have blood pouring out of them, not to mention that all water has been replaced by blood. There are several iterations of the mod. One only activates in fall, while this one that I'm using activates all year round. Unfortunately, the seasons don't look any different, but it's a trade-off for the look. The other add-on for the mod changes all of the music in the game to be pitched down, spooky versions of themselves. Now personally, when I was trying that out, the songs still sounded a bit too cheery for me as they have the same melodies and everything, so that's what I decided to replace with my own mod. It's not finished yet, but for the purposes of this video, it's pretty fleshed out. I replaced every overworld song with a song from Silent Hill 1 or 2. This includes the Pelican Town song, the Saloon song, and all songs that play in the mines. Eventually, by the time that I release the mod, I want to have every single song in the game replaced with a song from a classic horror game. I'm really aiming for songs from the PS1 and PS2 era. Eventually, I'll also extend it to cover the ambient noises as well, because walking through a bloody, monster-torn area with birds chirping in the distance doesn't really sound right. You'll see community posts from me once I complete those mods. In the meantime though, here's a couple of other mods that really complete the horror vibe I'm going for. So along with the fact that everything is different, you'll notice that the rain isn't blue. That's because I have the Horror Rain mod. The Horror Rain mod actually has two different settings, Acid Rain or Blood Rain, and I chose Blood Rain because it goes very well. It almost looks black against the background, which looks very nice. Gotta love those beautiful blood oceans. Another mod that you're seeing slowly scroll across the screen is actually Climates of Ferngill. What Climates of Ferngill does is add variable rain, so sometimes it's going to rain heavier, sometimes it'll rain lighter throughout the same day. What it also adds, however, is a fog effect, which is perfect for what I want to go for. You know, a lot of people complain about the Climates of Ferngill mod saying it has too heavy of a fog. First of all, you can set it to where it's limited in its config file. You can't actually do it with the generic mod menu, by the way. It does not show up. You do have to do it in the config file itself. You can set it to have light fog, but I think that the heavy fog is perfect. It adds a little bit of difficulty, which, you know, I think a horror game should be a little harder than Stardew Valley is at base. And obscuring your vision is a way to do that. Now, of course, if you get a day that's just absolutely white out, of course you can just skip that if you really want, but I like it. What am I doing? I need to get in the spirit of the season. There we go, that's much better. Another mod I've added is Spooky Scary Creatures. As you can see, those two birds over there are now crow-like. They're black with red eyes. The Spooky Scary Creatures mod does that to pretty much every animal you can find. If I could find like a squirrel or something here, I could show that off as well. Look at that. It just looked a little spooky. I don't know, it looked like a monkey, if nothing else. Next mod, we have Ghost Town. This turns every single character into a ghost of their former selves. Now, I will say, as a warning, if you get this mod, there's a couple of things that you can adjust. First of all, it desaturates the entire world. I have turned that off because I think with the fog and the desaturation and the recolor, it's just a bit too much. Another thing is, to put it simply, you can find out how everyone died. I have also turned that off because that's a bit more than I want to show on this channel, as I usually keep it fairly family friendly, as I look straight at a floating eyeball in the blood lake. Also, the Halloween Feelings mod does change the text boxes and everything. Looks very cool. Everything like matches, which is very nice. The Ghost Town NPCs mods affects pretty much everyone. As you could see earlier, it did not affect the Traveling Merchant. And I believe it also doesn't affect Krobus. Let me check real quick. Oh, no, Krobus is a little spooky. Oh my goodness. He's so scared. I wonder which mod does that. I don't think that's the Ghost Town mod, actually. That might be the Spooky Scary Creatures mod. So just as an example, it's very dark down here. An example of one of the ways you can find out that someone died with the Ghost Town mod. Probably the least gruesome of all, you can find Linus just kind of chilling here at the bottom of the sewers. Not torn apart or anything, just chilling, just drowned, which is unfortunate. Here we go, here's the town music. I do think that the title Alone in the Town was the perfect title to replace the Pelican Town music too, so very proud of that replacement there. And this way, so you're like in town, it's not just like groaning noises, that's an actual song that plays, and it feels a little more lively than everything else, but it's still ghoulish. I think it's also important to mention that all of the mods that I've added in the game don't affect the playability of the game at all. Everything's still here. You could go for perfection with these mods if you really wanted to. Here we go. This is one I wanted to show off. The fog effect mixed with the rain. It's beautiful. Now, one thing that I would eventually want to do, as well as change all the music, is change the ambient sounds as well. So like the rain here, it's just rain. Nothing else is really going on. Sometimes a frog will croak, but imagine like more realistic rain sounds. Maybe every now and again you hear like wind whistling, a groan in the background. That's just like, it's something I would like to do eventually, but there's a lot of ambient sound sets in this game, so that would take a while. And you may be like, okay, well, it's the middle of summer, why are you releasing this now? I want to have it all done by the time October rolls around, and I want to do something a little special with it, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I think it'll be a really fun video. Well, that'll do it for now. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one, and good night.